Hello, thank you for joining me for today's video. My name is Tracy Held. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Melbourne in Australia, and this is one of my Sweet of the Month videos. This month's Sweet of the Month is Expressions in Ink, and because I've already used up a lot of the DSP in the suite, I'm going to show you the picture in the catalogue. So you get the stamp set, the coordinating dies. It comes with that pack as well of gold leaves and accents, and this very, very beautiful designer series paper. As I said, I've used that up. I've got another pack on order, so that's why I'm not showing you the whole pack of paper today. These are the measurements that you're going to need for the card today. And let's get started. In the measurements, cut your piece of DSP with that being a little bit shorter and then score it. But another way to do it, which may just be a little bit easier, is to cut your normal half sheet of cardstock, fold it in the middle, and then go and cut 5 centimeters or 1 3/4 inches if you're working in Imperial off the edge. So either way, you're going to get the same thing, which is your piece of card with a bit cut off. This card is really easy. Our main focus is the designer series paper, but we are going to stamp that piece with some color. I'm starting with the splotchy flower and my polished pink ink pad. Now, when I stamp with this, it is quite a strong color. I wanted a little bit of a more subtle image over there. So all that I'm doing with my flower is stamping off and then stamping. And this time I'm going to just put a little bit of a splot on the bottom over there. Now I've got soft succulent for the leaves, and I'm using this double leaf stamp. There is the smaller single leaf, but I like this one. And I might put just a little curved leaf up in that corner. And then there's that little dot stamp. Now, I'm not sure whether it was intended for the inside of the flower or just as background little splots, but it works pretty well inside the flower. And then we can just add a few just as filler texture. And that's all our stamping done. So I'm going to take my piece of DSP and we're going to stick it onto the edge of the insert. If you're wondering why this looks like it's just plain white paper, I can't really show you very well, but this is the DSP. It's got a bit more of a white patch in the middle, but then the reverse side has that on the edge and the same on the opposite edge with a white bit in the middle. So where I've cut this bit, it's obviously from the middle bit over there. So that's why when I was putting glue on the back, it almost looks like it's just a plain piece of printer paper. But when I turn it over, it actually has our beautiful pink splotchy design. which I haven't stuck very straight. There we go. And we can stick that into the card. And our stamping almost looks like we've made our own DSP here. And you can sometimes do that, stamp something with a lot of detail so that it looks like it is DSP instead of that it's just been stamped. Now, what I did here is I took the bit that I'd cut off and I've cut that into 3 squares. So working in metric, I cut off 5 centimeters, and because my card length is 14.9, I've cut them that they slightly under 5 centimeters, so almost 4.95 centimeters each to get the 4 out. If you're working in inches, cut off 1 3/4 inches and then cut them into 1 3/4 inch squares, and you'll have about 1/4 of an inch left over, which you'll just throw away. Or I don't know, if you keep very tiny pieces, you can keep that and use it for something else. And then we're going to stick our DSP squares onto those squares. The nice thing about this card is you're still going to get 2 cards out of 1 sheet of cardstock. Now, to position my squares, the easiest way that I found to do it is to put a little bit of glue on one corner, and that's going to be the corner that's going against your cardstock here. And then line it up so that your points are touching the top and touching the edge of the card, and getting it kind of straight. And then you're going to do the same for your bottom square. And then I'm going to put my middle one in. Now with the middle one, I'm putting glue on 3 corners. So you want to be careful when you're doing this that you're putting glue on the right corner, because if you put glue on this end, you're going to be gluing your card closed. And that one we're going to line up between the 2. Now I've heat embossed my greeting with the gold embossing powder. I've cut that out with the layering circles dies, and I've cut one of the scalloped edge dies out also of those layering circles dies. We're going to just stick our sentiment onto the mat. And some dimensionals on the back. And there's our card made. You're never going to get 2 cards exactly identical, because you're always going to stamp a little bit differently, and depending on where you cut your paper, you're going to have slightly different designs on the DSP. I hope you've enjoyed this card and that you'll join us for the January suite of the month. Have a look at what we've offered in the other suite of the months, because even if you haven't bought the suite in that month, if you purchase that suite, we'll still send you all the video links for that suite. I hope to see you next time. Until then, happy crafting.